New stuff in the house. What's up, ladies and gentlemen and everybody else? In today's video, I'm looking at the Aoshida E20 in-ear monitors. We're going to compare it with something a little red. And if you want to find out what that is, stick around. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So the Aoshida E20, this one kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. So this is a double dynamic driver, or a dual dynamic driver in-ear monitor. It's priced at a massive $45. So it's somewhere in between. It's kind of budget, it's kind of entry level, and we're going to get into it anyway. That's what the box looks like. Inside you get a carrying case. That's kind of a sneak peek of the graph there. Let's bring her in. There we go. I'm going to start with the cable today, and it's a oxygen-free copper cable. It's pretty decent. It's not bad for a $45 in-ear monitor. It handles quite well. It looks okay. No complaints, really. Now for the IEMs, and there they are. They're not, look, I understand they're not the most exciting to look at. They look a bit steampunkish. So, well, this color, it's available in two colors, silver and gold. Obviously, this is the gold version. And yeah, it's not going to win any prizes for beauty, but it's efficient. Or should I say pragmatic. So yeah, you've got this two vents on the faceplate there. They're semi-openish in design, and that's what they look like on the other side. So you've got a sort of matte black resin on the inside and an anodized aluminium faceplate on the outside. Like I said, dual dynamic drivers, or more specifically, we've got one, I think it's a 10mm beryllium coated driver, and one 8mm DLC or diamond-like carbon driver. Let's get into the sound. Alright, so the Aoshida E20, let's see, how does it sound? Well, it's got a kind of a powerful and a dynamic sound, and that's enabled primarily by an enhanced bass. So it's a fun tuning and led by its boosted lows, but it's got a serious side to it as well. It delivers a nice, rich, robust sound profile, tempered by a balanced mid-range and a vibrant treble. Let's throw up the graph now. And looking at that, if you're familiar with graphs, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, look at the bass. And by the way, for those who are not familiar with graphs, that left side of the graph, that is the bass. And if it's up like that with a big hill going down, it means you got a boosted bass. But do not get confused. This is not a bass head IEM. It is a fun-tuned bass. It is forward and quite generous in quantity, but I would hesitate to call this a bass head IEM. It's abundant, but it's controlled, and it doesn't really have any bloat, nor does it smother or bleed into the mid-range. And I think the E20's handling of the bass is done really well, where the sub-bass resonates nice and deeply, the mid-bass strikes a nice balance between potency and precision. So it delivers impactful, yet detailed lows. So your low end or bass definition is pretty good here. You get some nice slam, nice clean leading edges, pretty natural decay, but it doesn't interfere with the mid-range. So transitioning into the mid-range now, and I would say the mid-range notes are constructed in a distinctive and engaging manner. The lower mids might lack a little bit in size or note weight, but they make up for it in articulation. They are unencumbered by that sort of boosted bass, and the bass sort of steps graciously aside to allow the mids to come forward. Vocals and instruments have a nice breathy and expansive quality, which is a testament to the nice tuning that they've done here. By the way, I forgot to mention, this Aoshida E20 was made in collaboration with Letshuoer, and you might remember, or you might be aware, that Letshuoer is responsible for some of my favorite entry-level IEMs, namely the S12 and the S12 Pro planar magnetic IEMs. But getting back on track, the mid-range has a fairly linear tuning and it presents a nice natural quality without leaning too much towards either thinness or coloration. So it's not overly thick and colored, and it's not thin or anemic or analytical either. It's just pretty natural and neutral. Then there is the treble, and the treble finds a good place between excitement and smoothness. There's plenty of detail here, there's even a bit of sparkle, but there's no sharpness unless it is originally present in the recording. And this treble tuning sort of counterbalances the weight of that emphasized bass perfectly. It lifts the overall tone of the IEM and provides clarity while remaining non-fatiguing. So it's nice and smooth. It widens the soundstage. It injects space between instruments, so you get some nice spaciousness, especially in the mid-range. It's pretty well spaced out. It's not congested or not muddied, smeared together. And this treble also contributes to vocal articulation. So it's nice, and I wouldn't call it, it's not bright, but it's lively and energetic. It adds articulation, nice percussion, snappy attacks is the word I was trying to find. Nice snappy attacks on percussion instruments, nice clarity throughout the mid-range, and that's thanks to this treble. However, it is still smooth. Now finally, for the soundstage and technicalities, considering its budget price point, remember this is $45, I would say that the E20 performs pretty strongly when it comes to technicalities. The stage has good width, it's got good depth, and instrument placement, i.e. imaging, is easy to track. So these are pretty good for gaming, they're good for listening to music. You can sort of picture wherever separate elements are within that soundstage. The instrument separation is good, as is the overall resolution, and honestly I'm pretty surprised by how good these actually sound. Now I'm going to do just one comparison today, and that's going to be with the Letshuoer Zero Red. And look, let's have a look at the graph here, and you can see they're not too different. So the Zero Red prioritizes sub-bass emphasis, and it has a more subdued mid-bass, and consequently it offers reduced bass warmth and less bass punch. While both of these boast a predominantly neutral mid-range, the Zero Red's muted lower and upper treble contribute to a diminished note definition, less vocal articulation, and less detail retrieval in comparison to the E20. And in regards to sound staging, the Zero Red demonstrates a reduction in forward depth, resulting in less precise imaging or more vague imaging, and its subdued upper treble also obscures some micro detail. So ultimately, it impacts the overall dimensions of the stage. The soundstage shrinks a bit in size, and it's got a sense of diminished spaciousness as well. And for anyone who saw my Zero Red review, you probably know I wasn't really a fan of it. I'm still not really a fan of it. I find it quite boring. I think the E20 in comparison sounds more dynamic. It's a bit more energetic, more vibrant. The Zero Red just didn't have enough bass impact. Well, actually, go back a step. It's got too much sub-bass presence. So all lower bass notes just sound a bit heavy, like you're dragging this big heavy sack around, like Santa's got too many presents in his sack. And that is exaggerated even more by a sort of tempered lower treble, and there's that huge dip between 8 and maybe 15 kilohertz, so there's a big dip in the upper treble, and as a result it's not that detailed, there's no sparkle, there's no vibrancy there. And I think that the E20 is just a much more pleasurable IEM to listen to. And it is a little bit cheaper than the Zero Red not only that, by the way, it's much more comfortable. It's got regular sized nozzles. Look at those chonkers. And the Zero Red's cable is, I mean, not in quality, but in handling, it just tangles so bad. It's too thin above the Y-split. It's not a nice cable at all. So, folks, that is the Aoshida X Letshuoer E20. And I tell you what, for a debut IEM, they've pretty much nailed it. This is a really nice one. So if you are a bit tired with those Harman targets, if you are a bit tired with those that scooped out mid bass and looking for something just a little bit more fun and energetic, then these are really good. Like I said, maybe not the prettiest IEM, but if you only care about the sound, definitely check these out. Anyway guys, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, Parfam audiophile style. And if you want to see more of my content in the future, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you later.